So today on the show, we've got Schneck Tourniquet from the Bloodtypes. How you doing today?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Good to see you. Thank you for being on the show.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked. I've been looking forward to this.
Good, good. So you're in a band called the Bloodtypes.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your band, what the band's sound is like, how you guys got started.
Ooh, those are difficult questions. I think it's always the hardest for the artist to say what you sound like. I think it's a lot easier for people coming from the outside to say. But I would say that our common denominator is that we really like music that was made between 77 and 81. So
Okay.
think like, someone said this in Berlin, Rosillo's for the 21st century. Let's go with that.
Okay, okay.
We've been playing together for a while, for about 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, I meant to start a band of some sort, but I didn't know what it was going to be. And it turned out that our guitarist, our drummer, were kind of between bands at the time. They were together in a different band before that had just broken up, and they said, "Hey, should we just see what happens?" So we saw what happens, or happened, and then Jesse, my husband, was filling in on bass, but it was never. Like, he always said, "No, I don't want to be in a band with my wife because that's going to be too stressful." So we basically said, "Yeah, okay, you can just fill in until we find someone." And, 4 years later, we haven't really found anyone yet. So, we'll see what happens in the future. But no, we love him. We hope he never leaves. So
Great, great. So you guys got a new record in the works right now?
yeah, actually we do. We have been working on it for a while. It's very hard to get to songwriting while you're touring and playing a bunch of local shows.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got about 9 songs pretty much worked out. And that means we have to keep working on it. They're all written pretty much. We just have to learn them.
Mm-hmm. And record them?
Yeah, and well, there's all that. We have this process where I write most of the songs,
Uh-huh.
and then I bring them to the band, and we work on them, and then we either keep them or we discard them, or we, work them over until you would hardly recognize them.
Mm-hmm.
So while I am the main songwriter, we all work on it together, and it takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always like, "Oh, I wish we could just, call this song good and move along." But that's not a good idea.
Yeah.
So, takes its time, I guess.
Yeah. Art takes its own time,
hmm
for sure. So you guys tour a lot. You go to Europe, and did you go to Europe recently?
We did go to Europe in March, April this
Uh-huh.
year. I wouldn't say that we tour a lot. Touring is really hard, especially if you have a job, because
Mm-hmm.
it does not pay the bills at
Mhm.
home.
Mhm.
We can keep ourselves afloat while we're on the road. We can, mostly finance the gas and the food and all that stuff. But once we're back, we missed a month of work.
Right.
And that's, so we don't really tour more than about 6-7 weeks a year.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't be feasible.
Yeah.
But Europe was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet.
It seems like people there really like rock and roll more,
Mm-hmm.
which is weird because there's so much great rock and roll here
Uh-huh.
in Portland, everywhere. But it seems that people in Europe are more excited about it, and they'll be like, "Oh, there's an American band coming to town." That's not exactly happening here, you know what I
Uh-huh.
mean?
Yeah.
So,
Do you have like some, I don't know, some crazy funny stories things that have happened on tour?
yeah, there's a couple. The weirdest show we ever played was some kind of strange house show in Boise.
Uh-huh.
The house was incredibly tiny. It was like a 1-bedroom, no basement, so it wasn't a basement show. It was in the living room, right? And everybody was incredibly drunk, including our guitarist, because he has an old friend in Boise, and that friend fed him half a bottle of whiskey.
Oh dear.
So what happened was that the kids were really crazy during our set, and they kept like bouncing into each other, and the light got turned on and off, and things got unplugged. And then at some point, someone bumped into the guitarist, and he was really drunk, so he fell into my keyboards, and the keyboards fell into the drums. And it's somewhere on YouTube, so I think it's called Lake Destiny House Show Bloodtypes. If you put that in YouTube, you'll find it. It's hilarious.
You just see the whole fiasco unfold before your eyes.
Pretty much. But we actually put it all back up, and we continued playing. And
there you go.
yeah, got to keep rocking.
The show goes on.
Yeah, and there were a few close calls when we thought we would have to get into a fight with a belligerent French dude who said we hate all Americans.
Uh-oh.
It was actually really funny, but it was also a point where the calmest people on earth, our drummer and bassist, were looking at each other saying, like, we're gonna have to fight them.
Wow.
So that didn't happen.
But that didn't happen, no.
And then there was this one time where this really strung out dude in Santa Barbara was trying to put dollar bills into my garter belt.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was something else.
I was at the wrong venue.
Yeah.
I was confused.
Yes, it was overall a weird show, but that was probably the highlight.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun at your shows.
We try.
So you have some shows coming up?
We're actually going to hunker down and do our recording, so you really don't have a lot of chances to see us, unfortunately. But we will play one show for New Year's Eve.
All right.
At the Sandy Hut. And it's going to be with Bitch School, Moondrake, which is the new band of Hernan, who's also in the Last 45s. And they're pretty awesome, so Moondrake is probably going to be awesome. Then we're really stoked about that with Problems.
Oh, yeah.
They're super great. And then we're going to be doing the 12 a.m. slot. So
wow.
We're going to ring in the new year.
Nice.
So that should be fun.
Yeah, that's going to be a hell of a party. Right on.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. It was great talking to you.
Thanks so much, Pi.
You're welcome.
Cutting loose, he's drinking juice.